All right, well, let's go. I got nothing to say, but I gotta say something because I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I'm live. It's as of right now, it's 1:38 a.m. on the East Coast, on the Eastern Seaboard. So I got to I got to figure something out, and unfortunately, I don't know the spark or whatever you want to call it, the creative juices. You can't squeeze the creative juices when they're not ready to be, when the sacks are not full and ready to be squeezed. You know what I mean? But I have to go live and just start talking because I gotta this is all I got now. So I gotta figure something out. And I don't know, I don't know how these young bloods do it. I imagine they don't really have anything to say or say much of anything of any sort of meaning or value. I don't know what they do, but I think they just hit at the right place, right time. Because when I was a boy, because yeah, I suppose I'd be a millennial, right? So when I was like the age that how what are Zoom? I don't know how old are Zoomers. I don't know like what any of this shit means. What the uh uh generations, like I don't know what the distinction. I don't know like what the years are supposed to be. It's all marketing. I think it's just like how they are able to like divvy up the age groups to figure out what to sell them, and so that's why I'm like, I'll acquiesce to the that I'm a millennial, but only in as much as like it just is easier. That's how everybody's agreed that we um categorize ourselves, but it feels kind of gross. So wait, what am I saying? Oh yeah. So I think Zoomers are like what? They're like anywhere from like 16 to 25, however old they are. I don't know. But I know when I was that age, when I was like coming out of high school and into college, the sort of gold rush for the emerging market that was uh, internet content was podcasting, which, as I remember, it was like pretty much just RSS feeds. Like you would go on Apple Podcasts or whatever existed at that time, and there were just like different audio feeds you could subscribe to, and that was in it. And there were just like a lot of people were emerging in that market and getting becoming very, very wealthy doing this, like, not really a new thing, but a twist on an old favorite, talk radio. But now it's on the internet. And so, like, a lot of people were just like all of a sudden making shitloads of money doing podcasting. And then everyone else saw the money that was being made. They see the sort of like when a stock or a meme coin starts having a green candle. So everybody starts FOMOing, as they call it. They start FOMOing into podcasting and still making money. And then eventually it gets corporatized, and then you start hearing all the advertisements. And then, 10 years later, it's mostly washed up and everybody's sick of it. Podcasting, right? And so then, like, what's emerged from the ruins of that is like whatever this is, live streaming. So like, back when I was a young blood, I'm an unk now, right? But when I was but a young blood, you had to, there was just different audio feeds that you subscribed to, and they were pre-recorded podcasts that you had to download. You had to download them onto. You had to download them onto your damn iPod and listen to them. Listen to them late. You know, you had to wait for it to get done downloading to listen to it, right? And so, but now that like technology and telecommunications technology, the internet is all advanced. Now there's the new is live streaming is the thing now. Like everything's caught up so that everybody can tune into things live as they're happening. And so now that's where you're seeing like people just kind of sprout up out of the ether that you've never heard of. And it's like a 20-year-old guy who you've never heard of, but it turns out he's like a billionaire because he's been live streaming since he was like 15. And so he just like got to this like as it was happening. It just like I guess like, right, some sort of combination of right place, right time, and then just like the gumption to actually do it. So the first guys to just like go live and start streaming themselves, doing whatever it is they do. I don't know what they do. At first, I thought it was like people playing video games, and then, but then the more I see of it, it's just kind of like people kind of like doing nothing. And I saw something where it was just like a guy eating potato chips. So it's like they just kind of like, you know, I don't know. I don't know what they do, but they got the camera on and they're live, and they're just like somehow they're very successful. And so that I think that that's where the sentiment is headed, or maybe I'm late to it, but I feel like the days of the podcast. I mean, you might as well go on over to WABC 77 and fucking do Anthony Cumia's AM radio show. That's basically what podcasting is at this point. So now it's like the live stream, the live chat. It's live. There's a novelty to that. It's fun for every. I don't know. I don't know. It's a different way to interact with things because like there's a chat here, so I can like look at the chat, and that's like the parlance now. It's like chat. How we feeling, chat? They say chat now. Um, what does it see? Look at this. He grasped people while they were growing, bro. You can do the same with guys like us, Dalton. Yes, I'm grasping all y'all. Stop doing that. I don't like this. Stop trying to do the N-word tree. Don't, and you can't. It doesn't. By the way, there's someone in the chat, regular trickster and nuisance of the program, Runaway Slav, is just doing an N-word tree by himself, which is just you. That's just you spelling the N-word. So it's like it kind of loses its efficacy if it's just you saying the N-word. The joke is that a community of people band together to collectively spell the N-word one letter at a time. And when sometimes it works, sometimes it's kind of funny. But if you're just like spelling the N-word yourself, you look like a psycho, which you are. But anyway, so I gotta go live and just start talking like and figure something out in the moment. And I don't have anything like necessarily to say right now, but I just gotta get used to just hitting the live button and start flapping my lips because I gotta figure, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So because I've mentioned it many times before, this day job that I have. Well, I don't have it anymore, so I don't know what to do. I guess like with anybody, you get fired, and it definitely feels like your life is in a tailspin because any job provides a sense of stability and security, and you just hope that you're going to have it for a long enough time that you can survive. Well, I was not afforded that luxury. I had a job for some time, and then today they just fired me. So all that's to say, Comcast and Xfinity, whatever Comcast is a bunch of satanic dog fucking, baby killing. They drink the blood of babies. That's Comcast. They're baby blood drinking, dog fucking, satanic fucking evil cocksuckers. And I can finally say that now because they fired me. So it's a terrible, terrible company. It's evil, and there's no way to avoid them because they have like almost a monopoly on this country. So anywhere you live, like you have to have internet now. Chances are you're gonna have to call them to get your internet, unless you live in like the side of town that's AT&T. Then you have to call AT&T. But it's only like 3 companies that are available. So there's like most of the country just like against their own will, out of sheer necessity, has to call these fucking demons that are the telecommunications company Comcast. And so I never spoke ill about them publicly because I was desperately clinging to a fucking job I hated because they paid me and let me pay for my own health insurance. But now that they don't pay me, I'm comfortable saying they fucking suck. I hate them, and Peacock sucks. Don't subscribe to Peacock. Don't let these motherfuckers talk you into getting anything else from them. Like, you have a utility that you need, like in whatever market you're in, which is the internet. If you call them or go to their website and they're hitting you with all these different deals and things that look nice and what blah blah blah. Don't let these motherfuckers swindle you into some bullshit because it sucks. It's not good. Whatever it is they're selling you, get the fucking internet and tell them, I hope I never fucking have to call this. I hope I never have to talk to any of you motherfuckers ever again. Give me the fucking internet box, and that's the end of this transaction. Don't fucking talk to me. I'm never communicating with you fucking people ever again. That's what you should tell them. Because I mean, once you do get set up with the internet, I mean, just pray that you don't have to fucking call them, because it's baked within the company for no one to actually help you. Here's the thing. I'll tell you this much. Like, if you call a telecommunications company like Comcast and it feels like you feel like you're going crazy, like you start wondering, like, are they doing this on purpose? They are. Like, when you call in the fucking robot voice, the automated thing is fucked up and you can't get to the department you want, and then you get routed to a sales agent for some reason. That is by design. They don't want you, like, if you have their service, let me say this. If you have any sort of internet service, let's just say this. I can only speak for the company that I worked for. I can only imagine it's similar at other places. If you got a fucking internet service with these people, and there's something going on where you need tech support, you need troubleshooting, help with your bill, whatever it is, and you call the company, like, what, that the automated thing they make you do and all that, and like, if you feel like that's like not working for you and it's like a frustrating process, and then you get routed to someone and you wonder, like, how did I get routed to a sales agent? I was trying to get tech support. That's by design. That's not because like like there's something going screwy with the automated system or whatever. They tell us like, oh, we're working on fixing that. No, they want that to happen. They want you to call and not be able to get to what you're actually trying to do and just have to talk to a salesperson anyway, because that means they get to play the numbers on upselling. That means you get transferred immediately to a salesperson. And then, so that would be me. Like, the job I had there was a sales agent. So you would get transferred to me, and you're frustrated because you're like, my fucking goddamn internet's not working. I can't get to fucking anybody calling this number. Can you help? And then I would lie to you and say, of course, I'm happy to help. And I'm only saying that to kind of calm you down and keep you on the phone long enough so that at some point I can pitch you something else. Because that's my job. That was the job that they were paying me to do. So it wasn't like I was supposed to actually help anybody with whatever their problem was. it was like, try and see if you can help them, if you can keep them on the phone long enough, do what you got to do to get them endeared to you so that you can then pitch them an upsell. But it wasn't like I was actually supposed to help them, because here's the thing: when you call a company like that, anything you need done can be done for you. It's just that the person you're talking to is not supposed to actually help you. They're supposed to sell you something. And so that was like what I was, and so that was why I was like considered bad at my job, because I would actually just like help people or transfer them to the department that they were supposed to go to, and then that would fuck up my percentages of like getting this number of calls. I'm only selling on this number, because, as they put it, I was not maximizing opportunities on each call. $10 from Little Goblin fella. This truly is the death of a salesman. Yes, the salesman has died. I mean, I fucking hated the job anyway. I mean, it was like every day I dreaded clocking in, because it's like you clock in and then immediately you just start getting hammered with phone calls, and it's like very seldom is it anybody who's just like in a good mood and ready to open their wallet. It's just like, it's either somebody who's fucking pissed because they've been paying for some shit that don't work, or it's somebody who has like no money and hasn't had a job in 3 years, trying to figure out how they can get something for like as close to free as possible. And so it was like, it was a constant fucking uphill battle, and and it was, and they were the fucking like, but I haven't even like organized my thoughts on that. You guys are seeing the rough cut of my thoughts on this, because it's like I'm not against like actually working. Like, I mean, there's a lot of shit I feel like I probably am too good to do. Like there's a lot of like I just drove by like a place that makes that doesn't that not a place that sells tires, the place that makes tires. Like, so the place where it's like a factory, like a plant where you go in there and work and breathe in vulcanized rubber all day. I'm probably too good to do like a job that shitty, like that kind of hard manual labor like that. I wouldn't have been against doing that when I was like 16, 17 is like my first job. But at this point, with I have a college degree and years of work experience under my belt. There's a lot of shit like that where I go, fuck that. I ain't doing that. I'm not gonna let these motherfuckers exploit me and kill me with their chemicals and break my back for pennies every day. I am too good for that. But I'll work. There's like but I'm not against like actually working, right? So I don't mind like doing jobs, but it does have to be something that, I don't know. I mean, I guess you're not supposed to enjoy your job. I don't even know. I don't know how I feel about anything at this point, because it was like, it's like I fucking try to do everything I can to like do the right thing. Spike Lee, Rosie Perez, John Turturro, great. That's a good one. Danny Aiello. Yeah, rest in peace, Danny Aiello. Yeah, okay, guess what? Runaway Slav is getting a timeout. I get sick of hearing this shit. Yeah, man, I am I am a pro universal basic income. It's not like what, because what, I mean, what the fuck is going to happen? Because I mean, that's the fucking thing that I noticed, like working this job that I just got fired from, is like even a job like that where you would think that it's AI proof, where it's like sales, right? So there's the sales is like necessary for sales is the human element, like actually being a human that can have a conversation with other humans and like sell something and create that sort of relationship with in that way, like that human connection. Well, guess what? Like they're implementing artificial intelligence into that process. So it's like the writings on the wall for like the entire fucking labor market, the entire workforce, that every single company and corporation and everything is trying to figure out a way to, as much as possible, eliminate the need for human labor. Like they want to get robots and computers to do all the jobs, which is like fine, go ahead, do that. But it's like, if you're going to do that, you're gonna have to at least, like, there's gonna have to be some sort of give. There's gonna have to be some, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, just like some sort of foundation or stability offered to like all of us. It's like, okay, because as it is, like nowadays, you need income to survive, right? Well, the only way to generate income is to work a job. Well, now what we're going to do is automate all the jobs, and then you don't get to have a job anymore. But you still have to generate income, and the only way to generate income is to work a job. But there are none. There's none available. The computers do them all, but you still have to make money. So it's okay. So it's like, what's the solution? It's like, either you figure out a fucking way to like mitigate the pain and suffering that comes with that, by way of like either some kind of universal basic income or a complete restructuring of how society works fundamentally, or there's a river of blood. People become so discontented and so hopeless, and it becomes so bleak that everyone just, like, I guess, starts, doing violence. It doesn't seem like a sustainable situation. So it's like, in that way, I am I'm either for a universal basic income, or something to just like ease the suffering as we try to figure out what we're going to do now that the computer can do everything. You know what I mean? So it's not like, I guess that's socialist or I don't know what you would even call it, because it's like, I mean, there's nothing. There's not going to be fucking anything left for anyone to do. There's like, they're trying to figure out a way to, like, um I don't know, render us obsolete. It feels that way, because I mean, like, even the fucking job I was working, doing sales, they were already like forcing us to use these like AI agents, just on sales calls. And I never looked at it. Like, it was running in the background, but I never actually used it for anything. But I told my manager at the time, I said, so what, y'all got me fucking training my replacement? And she said, no, that's gonna be like decades from that. And I go, it's gonna be sooner than you think. And then you're gonna get fired, and your manager's gonna get fired. And then at some point, this whole operation is just going to be just a bunch of computers talking to each other, and they don't know what the computers don't even know what their purpose is, because everybody fucking got fired, and now all that's left is computer running programs. It doesn't even know why it's doing it anymore, because we're all dead. Something like that. It feels like a fucking Harlan Ellison story. You ever read him? He's good. Short story writer mostly. I've read a few of his. He wrote I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, and Boy and His Dog. That's a good one. Really great sci-fi writer. You know what's interesting, man? He wrote a bunch of like speculative fiction, like sci-fi, about like future computers and stuff like that. But I think like he was mostly a Luddite throughout his life. Like, he kind of like didn't really like technology or using it, but he wrote about it a lot. So that's pretty cool. That's kind of like me. Like, I don't really know how shit works, and I don't like using new technologies that much. But I definitely talk. I complain about it a lot. um, the movie's good too. A Boy and His Dog. The movie. If you don't have, if you're like me and you can't read anymore, go check out the movie, because it's a cool. It's like a post. It's like Fallout. Like, it's like an early like a lot of what you see in Fallout probably gets a lot of ideas from A Boy and Its Dog, especially like the the vaults, like the underground shelters, because like in that movie, it's like post apocalypse, right? It's like nuclear fallout, and there's this boy who's living in the wasteland. He has a dog, and because of like all the radiation and mutations over the years, he has like a telepathic ability, like to be able to communicate with his dog telepathically. So they're roaming the wasteland trying to survive, and then the boy is brought into this like underground bunker where the bourgeoisie were able to hide out as the bombs were falling. And so it's like this civilization of extremely wealthy, freakish, incestual elites. And they've all painted their faces in like kabuki makeup. Like they're all wearing like white face paint. But they realize that there's no well genetic what's the word I'm looking for? There's like the genetics are too homogenized, so that there's not enough genetic differentiation in their gene pool for them to be able to survive. So they bring this boy down there to have him fuck all their daughters, so they can spawn new offspring, so that the human race can continue in the way that they want to make like manufacture it. You know, so they still want to have control over the breeding process. So they're trying to use this boy as like a breeding bull for their sisters and daughters. Um, a boy in his dog song 999. Is that a song? Is there a song for that? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, it's a cool movie. Check it out. The short story is not that long actually. It's a pretty breezy read. So it's like if you haven't read a book in a while, it's probably like that's a good way to get back into reading short stories. Ray Bradbury said that was a good way to get also become a writer, is to write like one short story a week. So I might start doing that. But so what was I saying? So yeah, so I gotta stream more now, I guess. I gotta start getting into internet, just kind of creating nothing really, just going live and start talking and bloviating, because that's all that's left. It's like you got streaming, you got influencing, you know, you got sports betting, gambling on cryptocurrencies, and I guess like trading options on Robinhood. Which I think that's really great that every single person in this, every single adult over the age of 18 in this country is allowed to and able to download Robinhood and gain access to extremely complex financial instruments on their phone. I think that's awesome. I think that's really good for all of us that you cannot know what you're doing and start trading stock options. That's cool. I I don't even know. I don't know how to do it. I was like looking into like figuring out how to do options, and I was like reading about it, and I was like, I have no fucking clue what any of this shit means. It's crazy that they're just letting anybody do this. This is like so confusing how this even works. But I might start trying that though. That might be a good way to make some money. Is shorting and longing and puts and calls and all that. Um, did something happen today? Didn't I? I think I saw. I said, by the way, I said this to Robbie months ago. I told him just that this was a thought I had that it happened today, but because Rob, like everybody was clowning on me for the meme coins because I've been getting into meme coins, right? And I said this to Robbie. I said, well, here's the thing though, that like right now, yeah, they're all very stupid and they have they have no value beyond like just the people say they do. So it's all kind of like pump and dumps and gambling, and some of them have like since then proven to be like assets in some weird way. What they're calling now pure belief assets. but I was telling him, I said, but you know what's interesting about like this particular financial instrument, this sort of this meme coin thing, is I do see a way for there to be like a kind of utility for it that actual companies can utilize, where you could, rather than um be like have to exist just on the stock market, like rather than be relegated to stocks and like the regulations therein. So like all the Nasdaq regulations and FINRA, and it's only open Monday through Friday, blah blah blah. Like what all the sort of barriers and structures of the stock market. I was like, I could see a way for like companies and corporations to like tokenize themselves through like whatever this is, like whatever meme coins are, they could tokenize the company and release, like rather than just a stock, like like something on like a particular blockchain that is akin to a meme coin, but more like a stock, right? And that could be, and I was like, that could be a utility that these could be. And then Robbie just was like, I don't understand anything you're saying, and this sounds really stupid. And it is very stupid. Um, but it's like as stupid as anything in the world of finance, right? So that actually happened today, or yesterday at this point. It looks like it did happen that Robinhood has partnered with some, I forget what it's called, like Arbitrium, some the companies are like starting to, you can now buy stocks on the blockchain, which means that you can buy a tokenized version of a company that exists as basically the same thing as a meme coin, but they're calling it a stock, but it's on the blockchain. Like it's on. I think I saw that it. I think they're trading on Ethereum. Maybe I don't know. I don't. I just. It was like big news today, and that was why like the whole crypto market kind of pumped. Was it because now there's more utility being introduced, like injected into the market through this new kind of like a stock trading, because now that means, since it's all like on chain. I know this like probably doesn't make any fucking sense to me either, and this people start glassing over when you talk about this, their eyes start glazing over, but it's kind of interesting because it's like a workaround to the like institutions of the monolith that is the stock market, because like now the possibility exists for 24/7 trading for like all the companies that do stocks, right? um so something like that. So it's like, it's just it's cool to see the ways in which finance is evolving. I don't really get to participate in any. I don't get to participate in it in any meaningful way because I don't really understand it, and now I don't have a fucking job. I don't have any fucking money, so I don't have the capital to do so. It's just right. It's rotten the way they treat you. When you're just being an employee of anywhere is just so humiliating and degrading. Having a job fucking sucks, but you have to do it. But it sucks and it's embarrassing. And it's humiliating. And it's got you thinking about shit you would have never thought about, like I gotta sell a bunch of fucking cell phones. You would never even think twice about, if you saw an ad for Xfinity Mobile, you would say that shit looks like it sucks, and then you never think about it. But me, I had to think about that shit every fucking goddamn day because my job, my livelihood depended on selling a dog shit cell phone service to unsuspecting rubes who didn't know better. That just because they're saving money doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make their life any better. Because what's the value of saving money if the fucking shit you're getting doesn't work? Because that's the thing. They try to be sneaky about it. I don't know about the other companies that do. I know like Mint Mobile has a similar thing, and Cricket. But it's like these companies that you hear about that you've never heard of before. They're doing phones now. It's like if you think about it even for a second, you go, so what is their infrastructure? Like, where is the fucking how does the network itself exist? The cell phone network. You know what I mean? Because like with AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, as shitty and evil and despotic as those companies are, you can when you drive around or in any city, you can see their towers. Like they have like big ass towers with blinking lights, and everybody thinks the 5G is infecting their blood and giving them Havana syndrome. So there's these giant structures that exist as a testament to man's ingenuity and corporate interest. That these big cell phone providers have already built, right? But then you see like an ad for where I worked, Xfinity Mobile, and you go, do they even have cell phone towers? And they don't, and they don't even tell you this anywhere. You have to if this is something you want to find out, you have to like pester them about this information because they tell their workforce not to just give this out to anybody. Don't tell people this when you're trying to sell them the service. But their cell phone service, Xfinity Mobile, is just piggybacking off the Verizon towers. So like the way it would work is that Verizon, the towers, like if you're a Verizon customer, like you have the actual Verizon, can you hear me now? Service, you are top priority for those towers. So you get the best service, which still kind of sucks, to be honest with you, because I don't know. It seems like cell service doesn't work as good as it used to now with all the 5G now. They tell us it's like the 5G is supposed to be great. It seems like it's like a worse connection than it used to be, but maybe there's I don't know. Maybe I'm just in a bad area. I don't know. I don't have the shitty. I have like I have AT&T, so I have like the actual towers for my service, AT&T towers. But it seems like it's not as good as it used to be. I don't know. But anyway, if you get it, so like people call me and I have to pitch them this product that I know sucks, and I can't. And but part of the pitch is I have to be sneaky about the service itself because the reality is that it's second priority on the Verizon towers. So it's just you're getting the runoff after all the Verizon customers have gotten the good 5G. You get the slop 5G. You get the crumbs from the table of 5G if you're on Xfinity Mobile. So the shit is already a substandard product, and the selling point is just that it's really cheap. It's way cheaper than any of the other things, but you have to have the internet to get it. So it's like it it's only available as a bundle thing because they're trying to own you. They're trying to fucking control every aspect of your life, and they want to rope you into all their fucking products all the services they provide because it's like I guess enough is never enough. So that they have to own more and more of the marketplace and I guess our souls or of that which makes us human itself. They have to own us wholly and completely. Um and so it's like this is probably like not no big revelation that oh yeah, that Comcast fucking sucks. It's a shitty company and their shit don't work that good. So yeah, it's not like I'm saying anything new. I guess I'm just like complaining because it was like also this is also probably not a big surprise. It was also a fucking dog shit place to work, and I was just like desperately trying to like I don't know, at least just like do what I'm supposed to do for the first time in my life, which is just like work hard and be responsible to some degree until like I can until something happens. I don't even know. I don't even know what I was like working toward. I never. I didn't have any aspirations of like actually being there for a long time. But I would have been nice to at least have that sort of stability. So just like have a fucking steady paycheck is nice. But it is what it is, man. Fuck them. The CEO is Jewish, of course, and they're just a horrible, evil company that unfortunately it's a necessary evil. So if you're in like a certain part of the country, you're gonna have to do business with them. Like you have to have them for internet in a lot of places. But just make sure that you don't let them sell you anything else. Just say, hey, look, I just need internet. I don't want nothing else. I'll call back in 2 years when the contract is up. And keep that in mind. By the way, they're gonna get you on some kind of contract or promotion, and just like keep in mind like when you sign that and how long it's gonna be, because you're gonna get blindsided when that fucking bill triples at the end of that shit. It's it's very 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 sad state of affairs. The internet is such a wonder, such a marvel of what we as humans are capable of, but we've also made it simultaneously a complete fucking nightmare for ourselves. We created something awesome, like the coolest thing, the coolest shit that's ever existed, the internet, and we're all having a bad time with it. We're all having a miserable experience with the coolest thing we've ever done. Like all the dude, there's like cables at the bottom of the ocean that connects us all to each other globally, and we're all just like frustrated and annoyed all the time. um so I don't even know. I got a 401k I gotta figure out what to do with. I don't know how I that's with Fidelity. I gotta figure out how that works. You want to know what's really insulting, like the thing that really chaps my cheeks is like this fucking so like this I by the way, I will say it's nice being able to work from home. Like at no point in the time I worked there did I ever actually meet anyone in person or do anything like I was just like in a room by myself the whole time. And every so that was cool, but it was all virtual and everything was just in a like shitty Microsoft Teams meetings where the people who were above me seemed to not know how to use Microsoft Teams, because like I had a headset and they would just like have their fucking shitty laptop microphone and they'd be like, can anyone hear me? How's this work? Can you hear me? Is my camera on? It's like the beginning of every meeting with the people I work for. Um, and so like in the time I was there, I probably went through like 6 different managers, because like the first 2 I had got fired, and then I got like assigned to another one, and then another one, and then this lady was like my manager for like a week, and she called me into a shitty Microsoft Teams meeting to tell to prior to all this, the way it was worded is that if your performance is not improved, there's a chance that you could be, because no company says the word fired ever. They don't pay you the respect of actually shooting straight with you. So they would say if your performance is not improved, there's a chance that you could be promoted to customer, which is just like the most infantilizing, insulting fucking thing you could just say. I'm gonna get fired. Treat me like I'm an actual man, like I'm an adult, not like I'm a fucking baby. Yeah. But then I get pulled into this like this teams meeting with this manager I've known for like a week, and she's like, well, so the company has decided to separate employment with you effective immediately, is how it was worded to me, which is a lot of words, a lot of it's a long-winded way to say you're fired, which you're fired would actually offer some catharsis, because at least I'm being like, at least I don't know, spoken to like I'm a fucking human being. Like, it's how people actually talk to each other. They don't say you're separated from your employment with the company. That's just that corporate kind of lingo that's meant to dehumanize you while maintaining the facade of humanization. And then I asked her, I was like, well, what happened? And then she kind of copped a fucking attitude with, you know how like fat black bitches be, where they'll like, they start copping up, that kind of attitude, where she's like, well, your performance the last few months, in fact, no, your performance the entire time you've been here has not been to the company standard. And so what's going to happen now is you're going to get you're going to get an email, and we're going to send you boxes so that you can ship your equipment back to us. And I said, all right, send the boxes. I'll run an errand for you. And, and I was like, and she said, well, it was a pleasure meeting you. I wish you the best of luck. And I said, yeah, sure. And then I just like, I showed a lot of restraint because I could feel, the Kumia particles inside of me were activating. And I was about to hit her with some slurs. I was getting ready to lay on the slurs, but I figured I should at least maintain some kind of tact and dignity in that moment, and just hang up, and then say the slurs off. When I was logged off, so I did yell out a bunch of slurs after I got fired. I turned the computer off, and I started screaming out all the slurs I could think of, because I just felt so humiliated and degraded, because I was genuinely just like torturing myself trying to make this shit work. I was like genuinely, like, for the first time in my life, like really trying to care about some dumb job and like working my ass off to actually like turn this into some kind of like stability for myself. And it still didn't work out. Like that's what really fucking sucks about life, is you can try your hardest and try to do everything right and be a good boy and still fail. You can still just completely fall on your ass. So there's not even any there really is no value to a hard day's work, because there's no the people that employ you, like the companies and the overlords and the all the whatever, the executives, they don't, at the end of the day, they're not loyal to you. They don't care. Like, you're just like a column or a cell on a spreadsheet that's cutting into their profit margins. And at the end of the day, the goal of any company is like trying to figure out how they can minimize their actual workforce more. Like, how can we get, is there any way we can not pay people so that we can widen the company's profit margins, so that us, the executives, can give ourselves bigger bonuses? This is a good point, Robbie. You're nothing but a column on your Tyrell. That is very true. Am I going to seize do I sound like I'm about to seize the means of production? I mean, I haven't read any of that gay shit. I've read some snippets. I see when Jake Flores posts, and like, so I haven't read any of that shit. But I mean, I do know that that fellow Marx did write some sort of prescient things. And I'm not saying that like the solution to anything is communism, because I don't know nothing. So like, I don't know. But he did kind of like predict that like at a certain point, the sort of like hyper capitalist, like this constant and perpetual continuous extraction of resources and labor for the production of capital at some point is going to like fold in on itself and eat itself alive, and then like something will come along to supplant that sort of that system, that like that kind of economic system. And it seems like it's already been replaced, but not with like any sort of socialist utopia or anything like that. It seems like it's already like been replaced, or mostly been replaced, or in the process of being replaced with like a new kind of feudalism, where like rather than like kings and queens and dukes and landed gentries and all that. It's just like Peter Thiel and Mark Andreessen and Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, David Zaslav, and just like CEOs and executives. So it's like it's like you know that they're still allowing us for the time being to believe we exist in a sort of like capitalist market where you can like work hard and make a lot of money and move up through the ranks, and become wealthy and all that. Which at one point in time, I suppose that was possible, but it's like more and more now. It's like no, they're saying that like we are the executive class in like effectively the kings, like the royalty, um, and like all of us at this level are the serf class, which which sounds fun, but it's not. It's not what you. It's not the kind of surfing that's fun. It's like the peasant class, and so they want to like uh, press us under their under their rule into like permanent serfdom, you know. Which I mean, I guess like I'd be fine with if they just like gave me a house. Like if it was like like if you look up like how feudalism worked when it was like feudalism, like kings and queens and knights and peasants, it was like you worked like 150 days out of the year. And granted, like yeah, you didn't have equity, like you didn't own anything, but it's like you had like your needs were met by the duke of the vassal in which you lived. So it's like you had a place to sleep, you had food. It's like everything was taken care of, and there was a some sort of army or play people protecting the place, and it was like you didn't own anything, but you didn't there was nothing else. It was like you didn't expect to own anything. You didn't feel like you were getting like you know shorted in any way, or that life was not like fair, or that this was corrupt. It was just like no, this is just how it is. Like the Duke gives me a place to sleep. I go till the fields like 150 days out of the year. Then I don't do nothing else for the rest of the year. And that was feudalism. So it was like this idea that you hear from like the World Economic Forum, this sort of like a very scary notion, which now it is kind of scary to hear it this way, like the way things are headed. But like this axiom they have, where they say you will own nothing and be happy. Well, I mean, like, yeah, we were doing that for a long time before this. Like, that was kind of the way things were for a long time. But then there was like this new thing that came about where people could own things, you know. And it seems like owning a bunch of stuff didn't make anyone happy either. Like, you know, um, I like the did you axiom your supervisor a question? I did. I did ask her that. I said, "What happened?" And she said, you fucking suck at your job. Hit the pound sand. Hit the bricks, honky." That would have felt better than what she said to me. Like in moments like that where it's you're just getting like the floor ripped out from under you. It would at least be cathartic if you could just have like a verbal sparring session with the fat black lady that is your boss. Like she says, like it would have felt better if she had just said something really nasty to me, and I say something nasty to her. We trade blows, and then I punch the fucking monitor and break all the equipment, and then they don't send me my last paycheck because I broke everything. That would have felt better than what did happen, which was I just like turned everything off and just kind of stood up, and I kind of cried a little bit. Um, but what was I saying? Oh yeah. Uh, but yeah. Oh yeah. So owning stuff also doesn't really make anyone happy. So maybe I don't know if you'll own nothing and be happy, but it's not like owning or not owning stuff is not doesn't really necessarily equate to happiness, because there are a lot of people who own a bunch of shit and they seem pretty fucking miserable. Um, so fortunately, I'm kind of ahead of the curve on all this because I don't own anything. And I'm already kind of miserable. So I'm already prepared for whatever's coming. Oh, this is a good question. If we were in feudalism, would I be the Dalto Knight? Yes, I would be. Um, yeah, maybe I do. Maybe, and you know what? You know what would solve a lot of my problems right now is if a few of the women who owed me sex paid their debts. If I'm going to go through the ledger and I'm going to collect on the sex that's owed me by a lot of these women. So, um, anyway, I still haven't really like organized my thoughts or put all of it together because I will say that it was like it's always like such a what's a trapeze, a sort of juggling act when you have a job, but then you have like all the other things you want to do with your life. So it does feel like this horrible, shitty, miserable job I had at Comcast was kind of holding me back in some ways, a lot of ways, because it was like taking up so much of my energy and like mental real estate that I really had nothing left in the tank to like be able to do the creative things I want to do. Even something is just like as simple as just like actually reading a book. Like I would just like spend 8 hours a day on the phones, just desperately, just like trying to do sales and hit these numbers and get these commissions that I just had nothing left to commit myself to the things that I actually want to do that make my life feel fulfilling and meaningful in any way. And so I suppose like where I get I have the time now to sit down and read that copy of Don Quixote that I've been staring at every night, and maybe write something down and do more streams, um, do more broadcasting, live streams. This is the new shit. I mean, because a lot of people. By the way, I don't know what I'm going to do with this defamation lawsuit that's being brought against me by Dasha Nekrasova. I definitely can't afford that now. But yeah, there's a lot of people that have been lighting my ass up for what I said to her, which was like, was just kind of playfully, coyly making the claim that Peter Thiel is paying her $25,000 a month, and this is the way I phrased it, to do an audio only podcast. Because in my mind, the word podcast, honestly, is a really stupid word that somebody came up with for like a thing that already existed, which is just broadcasting. So like we already had a term called broadcasting, which I think already covered it, which is just like video and audio. There's like a there were TV broadcasts, there were video broadcasts, and then there were audio broadcasts, and it was all broadcasting, right? But then like the way like tech guy, like the sort of tech visionaries operate is they're always trying to find new ways to create things that already exist. So with the advent of I guess like MP3 players and the iPod and all these new and then like RSS feeds, somebody came up with the word podcast, which at this point is almost like a Dadaist, meaningless phrase, the term, because the fucking iPod doesn't even exist anymore. So we've just kept saying the word podcast, even though it doesn't fucking mean anything. But in my mind, it's a to me it just was like, yeah, I don't know. A podcast is like just a thing that people do that's like kind of like what Stern and Opie and Anthony did, but it's on the internet. And there's the piece of there's audio and there's video versions of it, just like Stern had. You could listen to Stern or you could tune in to Stern, and he's got is him in the booth with the headset, and then for whatever reason, Sarah Jessica Parker has to wear the headset. Also, I don't understand why he's making these celebrities wear this fucking headset for this like the fucking millions of dollars at his disposal, and they still have to wear like a FM radio with the little the little pilot's microphone that folds down. I don't understand why they couldn't just like sit on a couch together and just talk, and then there's like just like it's mic'd in a different way. I don't know why he's like putting these like the most famous people in the world through this kind of humiliation of having to wear that fucking headset. Um, but anyway, my point being, the show does suck, but there is a video component to it, even though it is like what you would call a radio broadcast. Okay, Runaway Slav is going back into a timeout. I don't like the things he's saying. Robbie says he likes the headset. Yeah, the headset has to the Stern headset that like Matt Damon comes in and he still has to put on the headset. It has to just be like an aesthetic choice. It's just like the visual of the headset. It has to be that, because I would think that like Stern has enough at his available to him where they could do the show without the little headset. But I think it's just to evoke the feeling of like, oh, this is like the old FM station where it all started. But anyway, but there is a video of that, so you could tune in and watch. Oh shit! I don't know why that just. Hold on one second. I don't know why that just happened. Okay, I'm back. What was I saying? Oh, so yeah, you could tune in and watch them have this like really awkwardly spaced out, like just awkwardly seated spaced conversation where he's sitting in a booth in a like a plexiglass booth, it looks like, and then they're sitting on a couch across the room, and then Robin's in a different booth, and it's all so they can have a conversation with each other. And then there's like three cameras, and then one camera cuts to Howard, and he's in the booth, and then another camera cuts to Matt Damon, and he's got the headset on the couch, and then another camera cuts to Robin, and she's laughing Africanly. And but it's there's it's a video component for what is also a radio show, right? And so I in my mind, like when I say that they're doing an audio only podcast, it's like, yeah, because there's like podcasts that have both, that do video and audio, and there's some that are just audio only, and then like a bunch of like smarmy fucking sickly anemic Red Scare fans were like trying to do a gotcha on me. Like it seemed like what really bothered them was that I said audio only, and they were like, podcast is audio only. It's an audio format. And to me, it's whatever anyone wants it to be, because the word doesn't fucking mean anything. The iPod doesn't even exist anymore, so it's whatever I say it is. And I actually do one. I'm doing one right. Hey, by the way, this is also a podcast. I'm doing one right now. I get to say what it is. It's me. I get to decide. um. Well, no, why? Yeah, I mean, why would she think about that exchange at all? I mean, she actually is like much more successful than I am, so she's probably already moved on to she. I mean, she was probably in a K hole during when that happened, so that she probably doesn't even remember it. But no, like yeah, she wouldn't. I don't expect her to think about it as much as I've thought about it. I don't have anything going on, so it's like just like things that happen on Twitter. I'll just try and milk them for a while. Um, because I gotta figure, I gotta come up with something. um, because that is one of the nice things about like when you actually have anything going on in your life is you know, you can focus on that, and you get to keep busy and you have something to do, and you don't dwell too much on trivialities and minutia. But that's all I got right now is trivialities and minutia. And the most minute of the minutia is my penis. There's nothing wrong with having a minute penis. Do you guys want to see I think the soundboard works again, by the way. Folks, by the way, oh, also, I forgot to do the station tag up top. This is let me know if y'all can hear this. This is the Billionaire Podcast Network. Could y'all hear that? Or did I just sit here in silence? I was the only one that heard it. Did y'all hear it? Chat? Oh, I can put the chat on the thing on the screen. Let's see, is the chat? Yeah, oh, the chat is yes, it's on the screen. It's with me on the screen that I'm on now too. Thank you for the super chat, $5. You are the man. Consider this a transition to fun employment. Yes. Okay, so yes, y'all heard it. Yeah, so the soundboard's working. Thank you again to Lily Abernathy for sending me this soundboard. I'm sorry that it has gone unused for so long while I try to figure out how to actually get it to work with the stream. But then I will say, in Crack Amico in our group chat today said some nice things to me about all this, and he said it's good that I was able to get the company to pay for all this new podcast equipment right at the buzzer, because like all this mixer I have and this microphone and the jib arm that's vice grip to the desk, all of it, they paid for it. Because even though I guess I was bad at my job, they do give you they gave me rewards points I had like stacked up, so I used all those to order like $700 worth of new equipment. Thank you, Coward Boys. 5 Crackamico dollars. Appreciate you, Dalton. Enjoy sleeping in. Thank you. Dude, I'm going to stream every day now. I'm going to become White Sonat. And so, yeah, so I got this mixer now, and there's this switch I can flip called Loopback, which puts everything through one channel so I can use the soundboard. And then I figured out I just got to go. I finally figured out I just had to go into the StreamYard settings and turn off the thing here that says reduce mic background noise. And now I can get the sound. Now I can use the soundboard. So I got to make new sounds because it's all the ones I had. But this is what I've been talking about the whole time.
There are 3 motherfucking people in this goddamn world. 3. There's the man who owns the horse and gets the money. There's the man who has the money and gets the horse. And there's us, me, you. We jack off the fucking horses and we get nothing.
So that pretty much sums it up. We jack off the fucking horses and we get nothing. That's all of us. And now I can't be monetized because I used the Cowboy Bebop theme song. Runaway Slav is back going back in a timeout. He's always Slav is always coming in here just to say that I'm fat and I need to exercise. Like I don't know that. I don't need. I like trust me. It's like one of the things I'm just always thinking about, and I'm in a constant battle with myself, and I'm also always losing that battle. Because I like food and sitting down and laying down more than I like not eating and exercising. So that's something I got to work on. That's something I struggle with. But trust me, I'm aware of what I should be doing. I think a lot of us, I think everyone to some degree knows what they should be doing, and yet we all do things we should not be doing. We're all very naughty, and that's being human. Is that we all know what we. That's what's funny about these like diet trends and like nutrition hacks and biohacking, like people trying to crack the code on how to like what's the most effective way to eat. It's like I think we all like pretty intuitively understand that. Like we all probably know how to eat, and we're just like creating new complications for ourselves in like with food where it's like, yeah, I'm the carnivore diet, the keto, raw hamburger, like all these different fucking dumb things people are doing. Where it's like I think it's like pretty intuitive that it's like, yeah, you should probably eat like a balanced diet of like protein and fiber and some carbohydrates, but not too much bread. Not too much. You can have bread, but not too much. And that's like probably about it. And then like try to abstain as much as possible from processed sugars. You can have a treat every now and then, maybe, but you can't be eating ice cream and cakes and cookies every day. So I feel like everyone knows like the right way to do it. And then you gotta stay active. So you gotta go for long walks and bike rides and play pickleball and just live like kind of a well-rounded life. I think that's like we all understand that, but it's also like how many of us actually, from I can only speak for myself. It's like I know the right way to live. I know what I should be doing, and yet I don't do it. And then I'm always wondering why am I not doing what I should be doing? Why am I not eating the way I know I should be eating? Why am I not exercising, doing blah, blah all this and that? It's like I don't know, man. That is the human condition, as I know it. Is that I know the right way to live, and I'm consciously choosing to live the wrong way for some reason. Even though it's not making me feel better, it's not benefiting me, and ultimately it's hurting me. So, that's just part of being human, I suppose. And I should be doing comedy. Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm also like severely traumatized from what happened to me regarding my psychotic break. It's not something that I like. I guess maybe I don't like showcase, or you don't see it from like the way I interact with like you and all the things I do on the internet and all that. Like when I come on and do these streams and podcasts and all that. Like I've talked about it, but like I don't know if there's like if I've like effectively conveyed like how fucked up I am from all of that. And so like you know I don't know. I don't really know like how to actually explain it or talk about it or put it into words. Like I've tried to like put my thoughts together on it and write it down in some way, but it's still just like I don't know. I still have yet to pick up the pieces. So right now I am still just I am beautifully broken, but I'm still picking up the pieces, but they ain't been picked up yet. Thank you, RKO, 2 quid severance. Is that quid? That little symbol, whatever that is? I don't know what that means. Or pounds or whatever they say. Dude, by the way, I fucking love that barrel chested, um, what's his name? Thomas Skinner. He's like, it's Tuesday, you lovely, lovely people. we've packed up, we've closed up our warehouses. You see that guy? Abosh, that dude, I love that dude. He's like the only guy, the only anything in the media I've ever seen that's made me even think about visiting London. Where I'm like, man, dude, I kind of like London might be nice. Everything else I've seen is like, man, London looks fucking bleak, dude. But he's like the only guy where I'm like, damn, I might want to go like take a trip to London one day. I like this guy. Are they all like this? um, have I forgiven myself? Oh well, no, no. Oh, C dumps $1.49 super sticker. I like that, dude. I gotta get into I gotta make some stickers and shirts and tchotchkes and merch and all that. I need to I need to do something productive. Um have I forgiven myself? No. I guess not really, no. Like I understand that like shit happens and I had a bad thing that I did that happened and I did bad things and you live and move on, but sometimes like late at night when I'm lying in bed it all kind of hits me and I'm overcome with dread and a sense of guilt, you know. So as much as I want to think that I've like forgiven myself and I'm moving on, it's really those quiet, isolated moments at night when it really, I'm really once again awash in uh, pain. Am I trying to do a Sam Kinison fancy dress? What does that mean? No, no, no. Sam. I guess what kind of hat did he wear? No, I'm wearing a Sam Jackson hat. I got a Kangol hat. I always wanted a Kangol hat, like I see black people wearing. So I got a Kangol hat, and I'm wearing it backwards like they do, so you can see the kangaroo on it. So no, this is not like a Sam Kinison thing. This is a Sam Jackson thing. It's cool. It's a really nice hat. I do like it. I like the. It's actually like when you wear it forwards, it's like like a Peaky Blinders hat. But when you wear it backwards, it's a Spike Lee, Sam Jackson, Pam Grier, Quentin Tarantino in a dashiki hat. Isn't Kangol a type of dog? No. Kangol's a brand of hat where it's a little kangaroo. It's a little kangaroo. um. So what was I saying? Oh, so yeah. I mean, yeah. I had like a really bad psychotic break a few years ago, and I am still like very much I guess like traumatized from it. Like like there's times like I'll just be like walking to go get a glass of water from the faucet, and then I'll just like stop it because like everything will like I'll just like remember everything, and I'm just like paralyzed as I like relive that time in my life, and then I go get me some water out the faucet. I'm not scared of drinking the faucet water, you know. I know a lot of people use a filter or bottled water, but I'll drink the water right out the faucet. I feel like it's not bad, you know. Um, and so it's not just like the guilt and the trauma that from it, like that state of mind I was in where I was like really manic and putting myself in like where I was unknown to me at the time, like you potentially um a harm to myself or others or like something something really bad could have happened. Um, but it's like like now even now I don't know. I still feel like kind of like depleted. Like it's like on the other side of that, I'll tell you, like on the because I was in that for like that whatever you want to call it, like psychosis for a long time, like months and months and months. And like in that time, I had a lot. There was like things about it that I look back on where there was like some things about it that felt awesome in the moment. Like I just had like so much energy and cool thoughts, and I was like very creative. And the problem is, it was like my connection with reality was like becoming frayed, and so like all the thoughts I was having, I was like twisting to believe they were real. So it's like all these like crazy things I was thinking. I was like thinking them and then in my mind believing them to be like reality, and it was driving me nuts because it was all this like really like conspiratorial kind of thinking. So I was like coming up with all these like ideas and then scaring myself because I like it was convincing myself that they were real. And then I was trying to like seek out some sort of truth or verification of these thoughts, and was finding no purchase. I wasn't like finding anything to validate or vindicate any of the things I was thinking. And I was getting more scared and anxious and paranoid until eventually I was in the psych ward. And then once I so it's like like after months of this and like being in the psych ward, it was just like one day all of a sudden, it was like February of 2022. I was like laying in bed and then just like kind of staring at the ceiling, and it just kind of like finally went away, where I like somehow came back into my own body, like reconnected with reality. And I was just hit with this like 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 the feeling after you black out drinking like the next morning, but this was like after like 6 months, where I just was hit with this like um like a devastating wave of, oh no, what have I done? Like it all finally hit me that like everything everyone had been saying, that like you're sick, something's wrong, nothing you're saying makes sense. And and then me refuting all that, like it finally hit me, and that I had been acting insane for months. And then I just was like, now I have no clue what to do now. And then like, you know, it's also just like that also, the fact that I had like snapped out of it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm like recovered or better or okay, because then it was like now it's like 6 months of mania and psychosis, that's over. Now it's time for it to get really bad, because um you know it's just like you've run through all the reserves of just like anything in your brain for months, so there's nothing left. And it's it's just like like if you get in a car crash and break your neck, or you get into some kind of like horrific injury and you have to go get some bones set. That's going to take like depending on the severity of the injury, like months and months of rehabilitation recovery, if not years of physical therapy, like whatever it may be, right? So it's like for me, it was like something like that, but just like my brain had broken, and my brain had been twisted in twain, and now I had to, it has to like mend, right? And that recovery, who knows how long? Some people never even recover. Who knows how long that can take? And so, and I looked up some things on the internet, like other like just other like anecdotes and stories from people who've gone through something similar. And I mean, yeah, I mean, there's like people who said it took them years and years to get back to where they feel like they're sort of back to normal, you know. So it is like a really long, grueling, um, difficult recovery process that requires it does require like it requires a support system. Like you need like where I'm fortunate, blessed is that you know I have like a lot of friends and family and people that care about me that have been able to like be there for me in some meaning in a meaningful way as I like kind of build myself back up after all that. Well, you know, it's like it is like something I still have to like contend with and kind of recover from, you know. And that's not to that's not just I guess what am I getting at? So I should, you know, I know like I should be doing the things I'm good at and working on like sharpening the talents I have, sure. But I don't know, man. I just like a lot of life is just like really difficult for me after all that. And like something I was just like trying to, you know, just like piece by piece, once baby steps, take, you know, trying to do something was just like hold down a job. And I guess I'm just not capable of doing that. I'm gonna have to be purely 1099s from here on out because it just seems I've never been able to hold a job. I've gotten either fired or went crazy and quit every job I've ever had. Um, oh man, I got indigestion right now. I had a margarita pizza earlier, and also a sausage pizza, and so I have indigestion right now. I got heartburn. It was good though. Margarita is my favorite pizza. And I used to really enjoy actual margaritas, but I can't drink no more. I can't drink alcohol no more, so I'll just have to stick with the pizza from here on out. Um, and runaway. Look at this. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what Runaway Slaw says. Dalton, I seriously suggest you start drinking again. Not even joking. Guess what? Back in a timeout. I'm not banning him, but he's in another timeout. No, I'm not. No, I don't think I'm not taking any meds. I will say the one thing that really helped me, that got me back to where I could start like functioning in some way again, where I can like do stuff like this and work and you know get back to like consciousness. You know, I will say, yeah, this was pretty helpful. I did these ketamine infusions, and not ketamine the way like BPD girls and gay guys do ketamine, where they like you know do like key bumps of it and party. I went to a doctor and he would put a needle in my hand. He would put a needle, and then the needle was in there was it was like an IV. It was like a slow drip, like a slow drip ketamine infusion. So it was like you know it was these hour long sessions where the you know ketamine would be infused at what you know slowly into my bloodstream, and I would drift away into what is colloquially known as a K hole, but medicinally, I suppose. And I did a few of those, and I gotta say that actually really helped. I that that was beneficial treatment. Like you know, after like 3 or 4 of those, I was like, oh, I feel like I'm like better in some way. Like I can function better than I was functioning. Like that did pull me out of a like a pretty dark place. I didn't, you know, and then I didn't keep doing them because you know it's costly, and I felt like I probably had done enough. At a certain point, there, you know, it seemed like if I kept going, it felt like at a certain point it might just turn into me just doing ketamine. So I felt like I'd gotten the treatment that I needed. But I could see, it is one of those like new things that's being offered now as like some kind of mental brain treatment that worked. I would say it worked for me. And so they did the actual infusion, the IV. I know they have like another one that my grandmother does, which is a nasal. It's like a nasal spray, and so my grandma has a ketamine like nasal inhaler, and I think she's just doing ketamine at this point. I think she just really enjoys ketamine, but she's getting it from a doctor. It's like what she's like 77 years old, so it's like I mean she's at a point in her life where I think she's allowed to just like do ketamine. That's probably the time to do it. she's doing dude. My grandma's awesome because like she's in her late 70s, and she her husband died a few years ago, and I guess like he wasn't my like grandfather by blood. He was not like biological grandfather. He was your third husband, but like for all intensive purposes, he was my granddad. He was like the guy who was like the old man that I saw at all the Christmases, and so he was my granddad because my actual like biological granddad, he was not a good person. He wasn't cool. Um, and so like I never really knew him that well. And he died, he died. And when I went to his funeral, I was like, yeah, I'm not really like too torn up about this because I didn't know him that well. And every time I saw him, he was kind of a dickhead. Um, but my grandmother's third husband, who I had an actual relationship with, he was cool. He died a few years ago, and so she's just like kind of been alone, and she's old, and she was always like on and off different antidepressants, and so now that she's like in her late 70s, and like these ketamine treatments are starting to emerge, her doctor's got her on that ketamine nasal spray, and so she just be like always on ketamine now, and then she's also like she had quit smoking probably like 15, 20 years ago, but now she's picked up vaping, and she's taken to it really like decadently, like in a sort of like Caligula like way, where I guess she just like really likes all the flavors, so she'll go to the smoke shop and buy like every flavor of Geek Bar, and then she'll set out like she'll do like ketamine. She'll snort ketamine. Or spray the ketamine in her nose. Do a little go into it, get a little K buzz going, and then she'll lay out a vape flight of Geek Bars, and just start like just hitting one vape after the other while she hits the K hole. So that's a cool way to live when you're 77. You know, um, but she has reported that the ketamine nasal spray has been doing wonders for her. She says it's really nice. But like I said, I do suspect that she is just doing ketamine at this point. But also, like I said, she's 77. So it's like, you know, well, I mean, like, what harm is there at now? Like, to just like get addicted to ketamine at 77. You know what I mean? It's like the right time to, just like do ketamine all the time. Um, yeah, maybe I should bring my grandma on the show. I don't think she knows how to use a computer. Maybe I think she does. I mean, she's one of these like old ladies who's like, she definitely knows how to use her big ass Samsung Galaxy phone to play slots. Um, oh, I like that. Yeah, I should tell my grandma about Kratom. I should send her the promo code for Yo Kratom. Like, grandma, you ain't gonna believe this. $60 for a kilo. And get this, it's only $45 for 30 sachets of instant coffee, also. At I do a lot of times prefer instant coffee. So that has piqued my interest in the new business venture by our a friend of the show, the Puerto Rican rattlesnake. Because I do like instant coffee. Usually, well, it's really just like the convenience of it. It's quick, and I can make it really strong. So it's like I usually what I do is I go to the store and I get the it's like 8, 9, $10 depending on where you go. I get the glass jar of Cafe Bustelo Instant. That's my favorite brand of instant coffee is the Cafe Bustelo. Um, but I also enjoy the Nescafe and the Folgers. They're all fine, but my favorite is the Cafe Bustelo. So I'll get the big glass jar of Cafe Bustelo Instant, and then like I'll microwave a mug of water for like 40, 45 seconds. So it's not like hot, but it's warm enough that everything dissolves. And then I'll just dump like a big heaping mound of Cafe Bustelo Instant, where it doesn't taste good really. It tastes like mud pretty much at that point, but it's like a lot of it's a very concentrated high dose of caffeine. And so I'll do that, and then I'll just like chug it really fast, and then I'm ready. Well, I don't have a job anymore, so I guess I don't really need to keep doing this. But that was kind of how I started every day. I was ready to hit the phones and get chewed out by indigent senior citizens because their bill is too high, and then I would have to try and sell them a cell phone. Um, they're calling to lower their bill, and I'm trying to actually add on to it, and then I get yelled at even more, and then I transfer them to billing, and then my boss gets mad at me because I didn't sell anything, um, and then I got fired anyway. So I tried really hard to do a good job, and I still got fired. And that's life, you can try and you could do all the right things and still just get degraded and humiliated and kicked to the curb. you know, because your value is only determined by what you're able to produce. You know, am I sure I should be fucking around with any mind altering drugs? I think coffee's okay. Um, yeah, I think coffee's fine. That's like the only, yeah, I guess the only one I imbibe these days would be caffeine, and then I got the vapes and nicotine. So I think those are okay because the I don't, or maybe they're not. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But I think I'm okay. Like I haven't slid back into any sort of bad brain episodes. So I think I'm fine with coffee at least. Like I don't drink alcohol no more. I can't do any of the like fun things. So like the only sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I guess like buzz I get to have, like the sort of what would you call it? Like brain fun that I get to have is that cup of coffee in the morning that gets me jolted, it gets me buzzing. Let me see. Okay, so now I think Runaway Slav is behaving, and this is what I'm talking about. This is what you should do. Now, this is maybe being a little too cheap. this is just like kind of you know, um hurting yourself at this point being this cheap. But I do agree with the sentiment that he says he's of the crowd. He only wants the 100 megabits per second internet, no TV, no phone. Don't try to sell me anything, blah blah blah. I mean, I guess like if that's all you need, that's fine. But that's gonna become a real pain in the ass if you try to do like pretty much anything with it. But I mean, if that's all you need, yeah, that is a good deal. Just like 100 megs per second. I don't know. I mean, you know, you probably don't need like the fastest, but I feel like 100 megs is really limiting yourself. But I do agree, you know, when you talk to any of these telecommunications companies that you have to do business with, like you have to have their internet, you got to put your fucking foot down with them and say, don't fucking try to sell me anything. Um, you know, I only want the internet. I'm not trying to bundle none of your shit. Uh, Pat used to like Comcast after all this. How could he? How could any? I don't understand how anyone could like them. I just feel like you just have to put up with them because it's all there is. Like in like so many markets, it's like, well, this is the only game in town, so I have to have their service. But I don't see how any. I don't even as a just like purely as a consumer, even if I never worked for them, I still would like be of the mind that like, man, this company's a real fucking pain in the ass. Because all these telecom companies are evil, and they just want to just squeeze you for as much as they can possibly get out of you. And it seems like they also want to like own you. They want to be able to control your life because they're like, because they want you to have like they want you to be reliant on them for everything. Like all these fucking bundle deals they're trying to hit you with, where it's like you save this much money bundling this, and this with us. It's like, oh, that sounds like a good deal. Yeah, I do save a lot of money with it now, but now it's like now my entire fucking life is completely beholden to this telecommunications company. I have like everything is tied up with them, and so I'm like effectively enslaved to Comcast. Like anything I fucking need to do, I gotta call them to try and like figure out like how to adjust it or manage it. You know what I mean? Like you get in these bundles, and I mean if you're fine just keeping it the way it is forever, that's great. But God forbid you ever need to call the fucking company and actually change anything because you know whoever you talk to, like their job is to not actually do that for you. So they're just gonna say like, well, it looks like you have a bundle, and like we would have to, I have to get you to this department, blah blah blah, and and so like you know everyone's incentivized to try and dissuade you from actually doing what you're trying to do if you're trying to like remove a service or downgrade or adjust it or break up that bundle. They're gonna put you through just pain and torture and suffering the likes of which you've never experienced to try and get you to just hang up just throw your hands up and just say I'll just keep it the way it is. You know, that's like what the job that's like what everyone at that company has been told to do if you're already paying for all these services. And if you're like calling in trying to like do any like adjust anything, is like they're like what my job was at that point was to just try and get you to not do that. um and it's like yeah, and it's by design that the left hand never meets the right hand at any of these fucking places. So you know it's like you have the guy who sells it to you, and then you have like the guy who helps you activate it, and then you have like the guy who helps you set up your who you know the billing department. It's like all these fucking different departments that don't need to exist, but it's like by design that it's all split up and nobody communicates with each other, so that when you as the consumer call, it's like such a labyrinthine, serpentine experience where you're getting like, you know, twisted and bent around all these different places. It's like the company's goal is to like, and they won't ever say, they never say that, they never even said this to me. They won't admit this, but you can like deduce what to deduce. You can deduce this from just like working there for a day, that yeah, this is all by design. It's designed to be unbelievably frustrating for the consumer, with the guise of that they want to provide a great experience, because it's like all on the like the presentation is like, we're here to serve you, like we want to provide the best experience, but then the actual experience you receive is just a complete fucking headache. um and all along the way, everybody's like smiling and saying, oh, we definitely want to help, we thank you for your business, but I got to get you to this department, or I can't do that, I got to blah blah blah. So it's all designed to like reassure you at every step of the way that they're trying to help, while at the same time actively trying to get you to hang up the phone and just keep paying your bill each month. So this is like really satanic business. What the telecom companies do. And perhaps I'm emotional right now because I just got fired from one. And maybe some of y'all are happy with your service. But just know that each month you pay your bill, it is ultimately, you know, increase like widening the profit margins for a Jewish CEO. So just keep that in mind. um, so that's probably that's very, yeah, that's funny, Robbie. Technically, this is child separation because your team was also your family. I mean, you know what? I will say, fortunately, they never talked like that. The emphasis was always on like commission, so it was just like every meeting was just like, how are we gonna get more money? But then they would they would also like each month move the goalposts, where like the quota was more than the month before, so it was like harder. It was harder and harder each month to even make any money. But then also like what was required of you to even keep your fucking job was more than what it was the last month. And yeah, it was commission impossible. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, it's just shitty corporate culture, and it's like, you know, it is very, it's, and I guess it's like with a lot of jobs, it's very cult like, because like, you know, you need a job to survive, and jobs that give you the money, and money is freedom, right? Money is like buys you things, and so you know, there's like all these people there who have been there like over a decade, maybe 2 decades, and they all like they all behave like they're in a cult. Like they smile real big and they go, and they're just like, man, Comcast is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm like, man, that is a like one of the saddest sentences I've ever heard anyone say. Um, but they really are just like company people. Like they swear that, dude. They're like fucking Sam Jackson's character in Django. They're house representatives. They're house salespeople. You know what I mean? um, so it's yeah, it's real sick shit. What's going on in the working world these days? And that's why, you know, that's why it's important now to get them 1099s going. Just because we're, you know, be your own boss and just pay out the fucking nose in taxes, because you're punished for actually wanting to reclaim your own autonomy and freedom in this life by working for yourself. So let's see. Yeah. Senator, I'm a house salesman. All right, so that's it. Wow, I appreciate all y'all for coming in for this impromptu, um, I guess bitch session. I mean, I've been very emotional today, and I don't know. I just figured I should fire up the old stream and really get do something. So it's been nice that there's been so many folks tuning in live for just spur of the moment little live stream. And thank you, Robbie. I will keep my chins up. Very very funny. Very ha ha ha. Mariska Hargitay, everybody. Thank you. I love you. Good night. Oh, wait, no. Subscribe to the Patreon. Please, God, subscribe to the Patreon. Me and Sal are going to do a Patreon tomorrow. Subscribe to Patreon. Patreon.com/cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. And that's Mariska Hargitay. Good night. Oh, thank you, Cenos, for gifting one premium membership for the YouTube. Okay, and that's it. I'm ending the stream.